We all rely on them, but I bet most of us never think about what actually goes into a brake pad. It just seems like a simple block of material. So let's start there. What's inside an organic brake pad? They're also called non-asbestos organic pads, and they're basically a mix of natural and synthetic fibers, fillers, and a resin to bind it all together. Things like fiberglass, aramid fibers, and phenolic resin. The exact ratio of these ingredients determines everything: how quiet they are, how well they bite, and how much they wear down the brake disc.
That's a perfect way to put it. Think of it as a very precise recipe. Each ingredient has a specific job. You have Kevlar fibers for structural strength, and then things like graphite to manage friction. The quality and proportion of that mix are directly tied to the final safety and performance of the pad. It's really a game of material science.
Okay, so once you have this carefully measured recipe, how do you turn that powder-like mix into a solid brake pad? The key step seems to be something called the hot press method. You take the friction material, put it in a mold with a metal backing plate, and then apply a huge amount of pressure and heat.
Exactly. It's like a high-tech baking and pressing process all in one. The heat, usually over 150 degrees Celsius, melts the resin so it flows and coats all the fibers. At the same time, the immense pressure, we're talking up to 1,000 bar or even more, compacts everything. This forces out any air and creates a super dense, solid pad that's perfectly bonded to the backing plate.
So, this combination of high heat and high pressure, what's the direct advantage compared to other methods? Why is this the go-to for high-performance pads?
It all comes down to two things: density and stability. The extreme pressure creates a much denser pad with fewer internal voids. This means it transfers heat more effectively and is less likely to fade under heavy braking. Interestingly, because the pressure does so much of the work, you can use less of the resin binder. This allows the actual friction materials to do their job better, giving you more consistent performance and a longer lifespan. So, even though the process is more energy intensive, the jump in quality and safety is massive.
That makes sense. So, the pad is formed, but I read that it's not done yet. There are some finishing touches, like a process called scorching. It involves heating the surface of the pad to a really high temperature, something like 650 degrees Celsius. What's that for?
Right, scorching is a critical post-curing step. You're essentially pre-burning the very top layer of the pad. This burns off any leftover surface resins or contaminants from the molding process. For the rider, this means the bedding-in period is much shorter. You get optimal brake performance almost immediately, and it significantly reduces that initial brake fade you can sometimes feel with brand new pads. It's a huge safety and performance booster.
So after all that, what are the final steps before it's ready to be sold? Is it just a matter of boxing it up?
Not quite. The final stage is all about precision and quality control. The pads are machined to ensure their thickness and flatness are within very tight tolerances. The metal backing plate gets a corrosion-resistant coating. Then comes the testing. A whole battery of it. They check dimensions, hardness, and most importantly, the sheer strength of the bond to the backing plate and the actual friction performance. It's like a final, rigorous physical exam to make sure every single pad meets the highest safety standards before it ever gets near a motorcycle.
So, if you had to boil it all down, what are the most important things to remember about how these pads are made?
I'd say there are 4 key things. First, an organic pad is a complex composite, a recipe where every ingredient matters. Second, the hot press method is what creates a dense, stable, and durable pad by using incredible heat and pressure. Third, post-treatments like scorching are not just for show. They dramatically improve initial performance and safety. And finally, none of it matters without rigorous, multi-stage quality control to guarantee every pad is safe and reliable.